It is extraordinary, I find, that even at this side of the general election, the plotters in the Conservative High Command, the rankers, are already planning their pitch to the party that's left in Westminster and the wider party faithful. These include James Cleverly and Suella Braverman. But I should have thought that if the party is going to survive in any form, then it needs a new beginning, as Baroness Varsi has suggested, and somebody who is more moderate, like perhaps even Tom Tugendhat. But the latest story to emerge about the post-Conservative party future is that there are plans afoot to change the party constitution to allow the party in Westminster to make the decision about who will be the leader, rather than to send it out to the Grassroots, who, after all, opted for Boris and then for Liz Truss. One or other of them has been described variously by a number of different people as the worst Prime Minister ever. And I tend to favour the idea that Liz Truss has that honour, and that Boris comes a close second, but Liz Truss is by far the most pernicious Prime Minister that we have ever had, and she has done the greatest damage in the shortest space of time that any Prime Minister has managed to do. And the idea that the Grassroots would elect another Liz Truss as they did in 2022 is madness. Could that be Suella Braverman? And well, it really could be, couldn't it? Suella Braverman, Robert Jenrick, James Cleverly will of course lose his seat, and Liz Truss apparently will lose her seat, so that takes her out of the winning. But the 1922 committee, with the resignation of Graham Brady, will now have to be reconvened and reformed, re-elected, and that will take time as well. So I think the chances are that no matter what plans may be afoot for Rishi Sunak to be replaced immediately by Oliver Dowden, I was going to say, what is his name, that non-entity, Oliver Dowden. I think that's highly unlikely. I don't think Dowden would want to take over from that point of view. But equally, I think Sunak would want to be left to control the mess that he has left behind. I think he has enough honour to want to do that. And Claire Bullivant, the chief executive of the Conservative Democratic Organisation, which once more Grassroots says that party members have so much power that people don't realise. She explained members can effectively deselect sitting MPs. There's a rule in the Constitution which says that we can force a by-election if 10% of an association's membership, or 50 people, whichever is less, submit letters of no confidence. Well, what's been happening in Norfolk then? Why did people not submit those letters there? Because, to judge by the television coverage, nobody wants Liz Truss in Norfolk. And yet, there she is. And I find it, again, remarkable that the BBC has got broadcast programmes which suggest, or broadcast bits which suggest that Liz Truss is nowhere to be seen in her constituency, and yet nobody has sent in letters of no confidence. So these ideas, either the media is reporting something that isn't true, which is always possible, or the local party doesn't know what powers it has available, and it ought to really start using them, because Liz Truss Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, Jenrick, Cleverly. These are the people who have brought the party into disrepute, along with, of course, the usual the usual suspects: Boris Johnson, Jacob Rees-Mogg, who isn't sure whether he stands in the House of Commons or in GB News, and the plethora of minor mad MPs like what's her name? Andrea Jenkins, she of the one-fingered salute, who gets hot under the collar while she's canvassing. There's just a point where these people need to be sidelined, and the opposition needs to get back to being a proper party that represents a broader range of interests rather than to be beholden to a secret cabal in Tufton Street.